Well, guys, it is that time of year again where we're all looking for gifts for other people, as well as possibly ourselves, and why not give the best gift of all, which is learning, or in the famous words of Tai Lopez,
knowledge.
I personally do not have a bookshelf filled with books, and in fact, a lot of the books that I do own are back at my parents' place, but today we're going to cover some of my favorite books that I've read over the past few years that cover topics such as data engineering, software engineering, and just overall technology that you can read today to get a better depth of understanding in terms of maybe data engineering or again, software engineering, and really start to understand all of these concepts that you're gonna have to learn, especially if you wanna be a data engineer, because we really have such a broad range of skills that we need that again, range from things that are more software engineering to skills that are more focused around data analytics and things of that nature. So if you need an excuse to buy a few extra books this year for yourself, and hopefully not just leave them on your shelf, here are some of my favorite books that I own and have read in the past that I think you should check out today. For the first book, we have The Mythical Man Month, which I actually read an excerpt of this book years ago in my first software engineering course, where we were discussing things like project management and things of that nature. And so that's what this book really covers. It covers kind of how to develop software, the challenges you're gonna run into when you develop projects. The first chapter, which is what I read, was called The Tar Pit. Basically, this kind of first puts the whole statement out there about what we all talk about today is how are programmers or a duo of programmers putting together entire systems that are basically replacing companies of basically what are hundreds of developers in an instant. They kind of go over why that is and some of the myths even there, like why, it's not completely true and some of the challenges you'll face in terms of development. And this is kind of the book, if you've ever heard about, projects and being like, oh, if you want a software project to take 1 month, hire one developer. If you want it to take 2 months, hire two. That's what this book kind of covers. All those challenges you're going to face when you develop a project, communication, things of that nature, and how to try to maybe circumvent them, and just a lot of other thoughtful concepts. So if you're looking for something that is a little more high level and not super in depth, and maybe you're just planning to eventually become a project manager and maybe just start quoting this book so you sound smart, I would check out this book. For my next book, I have Learning PySpark by Denny Lee and Thomas Drabis. I apologize for any name mispronunciations. If you're looking to learn PySpark quickly, I really enjoy this book. I think they do a great job of covering everything from more like ETL data pipelines to ML concepts as well, at least a little bit. And how to use Spark, especially in a Python kind of environment. Obviously you can use Spark in other environments as well. But I think this is a great book and I kind of had to get it because Denny Lee was on it and I've just seen him everywhere. So I really needed to pick up this book when it came out. So if you're looking to learn Spark quickly, this has been really helpful for me just to make sure that I'm keeping sharp on Spark because I haven't been utilizing it as heavily recently. So I'm always trying to make sure that I have some sort of resource that I can go to quickly to just quickly get back up to date on things I might have forgotten. All right. For my next book, it's actually, I think, a little more interesting and as you can see, a lot thicker. This is a dangerous book and you could definitely hurt someone with it. But this book is definitely more for people who maybe someday want to build their own database. It's called Transactional Processing. You see that it does not have a fancy title, nor does it have any sort of fancy artwork. However, this book does have an interesting story because if you look at one of these authors, whose name is Jim Gray, if you happen to Google Jim Gray and then maybe add in data, what you'll find is that Jim Gray is a computer scientist who wrote this book, actually ended up disappearing somewhere back in 2007. He ended up taking his boat out of San Francisco Harbor and has never returned. Some people, at least one theory, theorize because he was a master of transactional processing. Perhaps he is the real creator of Bitcoin because again, he disappeared around the time that Bitcoin showed up. So that's an interesting theory. But in terms of this book, again, the story is great if you have this book and you need to maybe share at the dinner table. But if you're looking more for the actual contents of this book, which you can tell is a lot, it's really about what it says, transactional processing. So if you're looking to either develop a system that's focus is on OLTP, or maybe develop your own database, this book basically covers everything you need to consider when you develop some sort of transactional processing system. You know, how to deal with different issues that you're going to run into while you're coding it or developing it. It really has a lot of great diagrams, but I personally just use this book more as a reference book. So there might be something that I am looking up or something, and they have some great examples, but this book has a lot of complex concepts that, again, if you're looking to write your own database, you'll find it in here. Now, this would not be a top list of data engineering books if I did not at least mention Kimball's Data Warehousing Toolkit. If you're looking to understand data warehousing, you need to go to Kimball. He is the granddaddy, or at least one of the granddaddies of data warehousing. So go check out his book. I'll put a picture up here, but you can honestly find this online for free. You just search up Kimball Data Warehousing Toolkit PDF. You'll find a free link. I'll put the link below as well, but it exists out there. And if you need to understand how to model a data warehouse, all of the various tables that exist in data warehousing, slowly changing dimensions, or all of these other concepts that you might hear, this is a great book to start with. Again, a lot has changed in the modern world, and we're now kind of riffing off a lot of these concepts and kind of playing it by ear in terms of what is the best solution. But I think this is still the foundation for a lot of data warehouses, so I think it's important for you to understand. Next, if you're trying to understand streaming systems, I would recommend O'Reilly's book, or at least the book published by O'Reilly called Streaming Systems. I think it's like What, When, Where. Let me double check that. Nope, it's What, Where, When. In particular, what I like about this book is they kind of give a good understanding of what streaming systems are first, and then from there, kind of helping you understand when to use them and how, and other concepts you need to really think about when you're implementing streaming, because streaming is not something that you want to put everywhere, but we are getting into a world where it makes more and more sense in certain applications. So understanding not just what it is, but also where to use it, I think is crucial. And so that's kind of what this book covers, along with covering some other concepts like joins, as well as tooling that you can utilize in order to stream. And so for people who are looking to kind of understand how to use streaming in their data pipelines and data systems, this is a great place to start. It'll really give you a good 101 understanding, as well as some more practical concepts and examples. So you can figure out how you can go from just, thinking about streaming theoretically and actually figuring out how people are applying it. And so that's what I found useful about this particular book. And I think, again, you will too, if that's where you're going. And even if you're just in more of a batch ETL environment, I think it's worth maybe looking into, so at least you have it top of mind. So if you ever have an issue or you have a problem that could be solved by streaming, you will then immediately see it, because again, this book will frame it pretty well for you in terms of understanding where streaming fits well. Another book that I've really enjoyed is the Data Pipelines Pocket Reference. So this book, I will say personally, the concepts are a little bit older, or at least focus more on Redshift. And I think Redshift is still a popular choice, but I think we've definitely tried to move away, or at least people aren't 100% on Redshift these days, because there are a lot of other good options. So I look at this book a little more theoretically in terms of it covers a lot of great concepts in terms of pulling out data and extracting it from various sources like MongoDB and APIs, and then loading it and creating tables, in this case in Redshift, which is still valid. Again, we still have a ton of Redshift use these days, but we're definitely pushing a lot more towards, I think, Snowflake, BigQuery, and of course, Databricks and all their recent drama that they've been throwing around in the data sphere. But I guess it just depends on who you think started it, Snowflake or Databricks. Vote below on who started the drama, Snowflake or Databricks. But other than that, I think it's a great kind of resource guide, and it really covers the concept of data pipelining in a very kind of condensed manner. So I think it's really good for people who want to kind of understand what in the world is a data pipeline in under 200 pages, and a lot of the complexity that's involved there. Again, it's going to cover things like extracting, loading, dealing with Airflow, some validation, and a lot of other concepts that could take, honestly, a long time to learn and could each have their own book. But this book has kind of condensed it down, the whole data pipeline basically, into one 200-page book, and it's pretty quick. Another great book that I really enjoy to help you learn data warehouse design is the Agile Data Warehouse Design book. Now, obviously their focus is not just data warehouse design, but also being agile. And that's always a fine line, trying to be completely agile and also, designing a data warehouse that's arguably very hard sometimes to be 100% agile. I think it is always morphing. I think I've talked about this in other videos that, data warehouses are kind of this source of truth, but this source of truth is kind of a moving source of truth, right? As things change quickly, your ERP is replaced, or, some portion of that ERP is replaced. Your company now needs to suddenly switch and redesign this whole data model, or figure out how the ETL underneath is going to fit the current data model. And it becomes very complex. And so in some ways, you're constantly being maybe not agile, but iterative, because you're just forced to. But in other ways, ways, you do need to make sure that this data model is being pretty supportive and robust over all of your data needs. And this is a fine balance. And that's why I think, trying to come up with these hybrid solutions like data lakehouse plus data warehouse. So that's why I think coming up with hybrid solutions like data lake plus data warehouse, or maybe data lakehouse, or all these other concepts are becoming popular because they kind of let you play around with some data without having to have it perfectly in the data warehouse. But what I like about this book is, again, it gives you a lot of perspective, not just about how to design data warehouses, which it does. So if you're preparing for an interview, this book is great, but it also gives you a good understanding of how to maybe run that kind of a project. Because again, just understanding how to design a project is one thing. Understanding how to avoid, having your project disappear or fail, like perhaps it falling into some unknown tar pit, is very difficult. It is a challenge, and finding that balance between making sure you're not completely waterfall, but also not completely agile and just being extreme prototyping and never actually completing a project in some sort of solid state is a fine balance. But I think this book provides a lot of great perspective into that challenge and how it's trying to solve it. I rarely am a purist when it comes to anything, like if it's like agile or waterfall and which one's best. I generally try to find some happy middle ground. Again, that doesn't mean completely in the middle. It might mean for one project, you're like able to be more agile because maybe it's smaller, or a project that has more requirements might require more upfront preparation. So there is always a balance depending on the problem you're trying to solve as well. So that's why it's great to get lots of different perspectives on how you can actually complete any form of project, whether it's software, data, some sort of dashboard, whatever it might be. All of these books, I think what they do most, more than anything else, is provide perspective into a very complex field, which is data engineering. We work in a very complex field that takes from a lot of these different disciplines, meaning we kind of need to get a good perspective. We need to understand streaming, we need to understand software design, we need to understand data warehouses and all of these other concepts, and then figure out how to put them all together and actually complete projects and drive value. So that's why I do really enjoy these books, and I hope you do too. If you personally have a favorite book, please comment about it below. Don't put a link just because YouTube automatically just censors that. I've noticed that if you put a link, it will get censored. If I put a link, it seems fine. So if you ever see a comment disappear, that's why. And with that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time, and goodbye.